didn't suck. Well, that didn't suck.
All right, class, we're back with round 2 of Joseph Howe, the guy who took on the establishment and actually won. Last time, he fought for press freedom and won, but guess what? Howe wasn't done. Not even close. Fast forward a few years, and British North America is still a mess. Rebellions, uprisings, people generally not being thrilled about being ruled by a bunch of elites who don't actually listen to them. Sound familiar? Howe thought so too. But instead of picking up a musket like the rebels in Upper and Lower Canada, Howe doubled down on his signature move: words. He pushed for what he called responsible government, a system where actual elected representatives had control, not just some semi-aristocratic clique of rich folks. At first, the British were like, no thanks, we're good. Even when Lord Durham, the kind of British toff that posh people thought was a bit much, showed up and said, yeah, these guys should govern themselves, London shut it down. Classic. But Howe? He didn't quit. He kept writing, kept debating, and kept making it painfully obvious that the system was broken. The British tried to throw him a bone, some half-baked reforms, a seat at the governing council, but he wasn't buying it. He wanted the real deal. Then, totally unrelated to Canada, everything changed. The British started warming up to free trade. They'd figured out the whole Industrial Revolution thing before everyone else. James Watt, steam trains, little kids in factories. Progress 19th century style. The Brits realized we need markets for it all, snap. We want to trade with literally everyone. So, how about those colonies that used to get special treatment? Not so important anymore. Running these places was expensive. And if the Brits could shift the cost onto the colonies themselves, even better. And just like that, responsible government went from impossible to inevitable. The Brits send a few telegrams to the governor of Nova Scotia saying one big thing. Next time there's an election, whoever wins it is really going to win it. They're going to get responsible government. Guess who won? That's right, Joseph Howe and his reformer friends. Boom! Nova Scotia became the first colony in the British Empire with responsible government. No war, no burning buildings, just relentless logic, political pressure, and Howe being an absolute force of nature. This wasn't just a victory for Nova Scotia, it was a blueprint. Other colonies followed, and eventually Canada itself was built on the idea Howe had fought for. That government should be for and by the people. British style, but made in Canada. So next time someone tells you change only comes through violence, remember Joseph Howe, the guy who pulled off a democratic revolution armed with nothing but words and sheer persistence. All right, that's enough history for today. Now go out there and make some change without setting anything on fire. Class dismissed.
Well, that didn't suck.
All right, listen, you're here. You made it this far. If you like history that's weird, hilarious, and actually worth your time, this is your place. Hit that subscribe button and follow us on the socials. Trust me, this won't suck.